What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Tuesday, January 26th. Today, I'm going to address those $3,600 stimulus payments that a lot of people have been talking about and have a lot of questions regarding, so I want to address that. I'm going to address the $1,400 third stimulus checks, unemployment benefits, state and local government funding, and how we could potentially see a stimulus package by the end of this week. So that's what I'm going to address in today's video. Like always, if you guys have any questions regarding stimulus, about making money, building wealth, let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So let's jump into the video. First, reports out this morning are indicating that Mitch McConnell has now relinquished power over to Chuck Schumer by accepting the organizing resolution. This is a big deal, and this is huge for the Biden administration and for the Senate, because now the Senate can take on ordinary business. Democrats can now fill the committee chairs with their own people, because until now, even though Mitch McConnell was the minority leader and Chuck Schumer was the majority leader and Democrats held the majority in the Senate, the GOP was still holding the majority of the committee chairs. So now this will actually allow the Biden administration to get to work. What this means for stimulus is that Chuck Schumer can now put Democratic bills on the floor. This is big. And this right now is what many people were saying had to happen. If this didn't happen, it was going to delay stimulus. So, right now, Pelosi has stated, and this was actually stated yesterday, but she stated that the House is currently working to get a bill ready for a vote by next week. So yes, we could see a new bill ready, proposed, everything. We could see the text of the bill sometime this week. Again, today's Tuesday, so we still have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Hopefully, we will see the bill and the text of the bill at some point during that time frame. If that's the case, we could see this bill head to the House floor next week for a possible vote. Everybody's expecting this is going to pass through the House, no problem. The issue comes in the Senate, and I'll explain that in just a second. Now, if this were to happen, the House could easily pass this bill next week. But the Senate still has to get this bill passed with a 60-vote majority, unless they decide to do a budget reconciliation. The issue is, President Biden at this point still wants to negotiate in good faith with the Republican Party, specifically Mitch McConnell. So, right now, what we are hearing is that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are giving President Biden a couple of weeks to try to get the Republican Party on board. However, once it reaches, once we get to the date of February 8th, that is supposedly the first day that we will be in in President Trump's impeachment trials in the Senate. If that's the case, then once we reach February 8th, that is pretty much the cutoff for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to say, okay, President Biden, you tried. You did what you tried. You did what you could. We didn't get anywhere, so we are going to go forward with the budget reconciliation, which the House has already stated they can go ahead and pass that next week. But for right now, they are going to try to do two different things. They're going to certain people are going to move forward with the budget reconciliation inside the House, and another group of people are going to move forward with an actual proposal for that $1.9 trillion. So that's where we're at right now. But based on what we are hearing this morning, the bill that Nancy Pelosi is discussing, that she is talking about where they're going to put this together, it's going to include state and local government funding, unemployment benefits, a $1,400 stimulus check, a $15 federal minimum wage, all these things. This bill will most likely require a few modifications because a handful of Senate Democrats don't support the proposal as it stands. And I said this the other day, and this is going to continue to be an issue, is that some Democrats in the Senate, for example, Joe Manchin is one of them, he has stated that he does not support a $1,400 stimulus check going to the amount of people that will currently get it. He is saying it needs to be more targeted. So this means that this bill that Nancy Pelosi is talking about could pass through the House, no problem. Once it gets kicked over to the Senate, it will most likely be rejected there. It will probably go to a vote, but it has to get a 60 vote majority. If it doesn't get 60 votes, and it gets only 59, the issue is it will be rejected. So what we are hearing is that this will most likely be kicked back to be reworked and then voted on again. This is where the delays are going to happen. Because right now, everyone's expecting, and I was expecting this exact same thing, is that, okay, President Biden, he's a Democrat. All right, we know that. Well, Nancy Pelosi is a Democrat. The Democrats do hold the majority in the House. Okay, great. But then in the Senate, here's the issue. That yes, it's a 50-50 split in the Senate. Everybody was expecting if the Senate was controlled by Democrats, which it now is, everything would just be a slam dunk. But here's the issue. There are some moderates that do not, go and say, okay, I will need a $15 federal minimum wage. There are some moderates that say, no, we do not need to send out $1,400 stimulus checks to every single American. That we do not need this much money going to state and local governments. We do not need that much money going to school funding and more loans for small businesses. There are moderates that are like, no, we don't agree with them. This is what we need. And so that's going to be the issue. Chuck Schumer has to get his party united. President Biden has been trying to do this for a certain amount of time to try to bring everybody together and unify the nation. Now it's Chuck Schumer's turn to try to unify his caucus. That's going to be an issue. So here's what we are hearing right now. And again, I just want to be real with you and try to give you the facts, because the House is working on something, and that's great, but this doesn't mean that it's a slam dunk. It doesn't. It will take time. Many lawmakers don't expect a bill to even be passed before the end of February at the earliest. The end of February, which means we could potentially see stimulus checks in March. But some are out there saying, no, I don't expect something to get done in February. I expect March 14th. That's going to be the cutoff. I think March 13th is the Friday before. I expect March 13th to be the cutoff. This is the day we have to get stuff passed. Because on the 14th, that's the expiration date for unemployment benefits. That's the cliff. That's that unemployment cliff that we have to reach. So we will see. Even Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, he had this to say yesterday, and I quote, "We'll try to get that passed in the next month and a half. Will it be easy in the Senate? No, but it will be a lot easier because I can determine what's put on the floor, not McConnell." Pretty much just a slam at Mitch McConnell, saying that, we tried to get this voted on, we tried to get this passed before, and you rejected it. You said, no, we're not going to put this to a vote. Well, Chuck Schumer now has the power to do this. Mitch McConnell does not. Mitch McConnell does not have the power to bring any bill to the floor that he wants. Chuck Schumer now does. Now, everybody is wanting immediate payments. Everybody, and I mean everybody. Lawmakers want to see immediate payments go out as quickly as possible because this will help out more families. The American people would like to see immediate payments quickly as well because they have bills to pay, they have rent to pay, they have food to buy to put on the table. And President Biden says immediate payments are essential. Economists are saying that without additional payments, then the economy is going to suffer and more Americans will fall into poverty. Just the other day, there was a report out stating that 8.1 million Americans, additional Americans, okay, on top of the amount of people that were already in poverty, an 8.1 million person increase between June 2020 and December 2020. That is ridiculous. That is an insane amount of people that have fallen into poverty simply because the unemployment benefits were not enough or they ran out. The majority of people that went into poverty because their unemployment benefits ran out as far as that $600 per week boost. Many people didn't get money from PPP because they don't have a small business. So there's a lot of aid that people were not getting that, yes, Congress passed this, but a lot of it went to businesses. A lot of it went to people that had some type of asset. So that's the big issue, is a lot of people do not have businesses, don't have houses. They couldn't get a mortgage forbearance. Yes, maybe rental assistance, and they can get some type of eviction moratorium, but they still have to pay that back. Unlike mortgage forbearance, where we are allowed to say, okay, we cannot afford to pay this, so just put that payment on the back of my loan in 28 years. Put it on the back of that. I'm not going to pay it in 6 months. Put it on the back of my loan in 28 years. That's when I'll pay it. And people that are paying rent, they don't have that option. As soon as they're done with this rental or this eviction moratorium, they need to pay that back. And most families are not going to be able to do that. So here's what we know. This is one of the reasons why many are pushing for that $3,600 stimulus payment. This payment is for children. However, it's for the parents to help out the children to make sure the entire family does not fall into poverty. This provision would allow and provide children's age between 0 and 5 a $3,600 stimulus payment every single year. This would equate to about $300 per month. Children 6 to 17 will get $3,000 per year, and this would come out to $250 per month. Right now, others are saying that this increase in the child tax credit is simply just a credit. And this would only come out once a year. And it wouldn't start this year. So this is not an immediate payment. And this is a big issue. Some people are saying that this is supposed to be a monthly check. $250 or $300, depending on how old your child is. If you have 5 children, all under the ages of 5, great. Then you get $3,000? No, $1,500 per month for your children. Great, $1,500 per month for 5 children should be enough to put food on the table, keep clothes on their back, keep them fed, keep a roof over their head, and get them to school on time if they go to like preschool or something like that, or even daycare. So this would actually help. But other reports are saying that no, this is not a monthly payment. This is supposed to be a tax credit. Go from the $2,000 per year child tax credit up to possibly $3,000 to $3,600. However, a lot of reports are saying that no, this needs to be monthly, or else the children do not have that consistency. What happens is a parent receives this money at the end of the year, and a lot of times it's like, okay, great, we have this money, we've been needing to fix up our car, let's go fix up the car. We've been needing to pay off, this debt, let's go pay off this debt. And then by the end of it, they're back into the same boat. Oh, I just don't have enough money to buy this or school clothes for next year. I don't have enough money to buy you new shoes or things like that, essentials. And so that's what some lawmakers are saying, is this needs to be monthly so that children have that consistent income coming in. And again, it's not to the children, but it's to that parent, and they can see that consistent income where they know, okay, I'll be able to go and buy my kids this next month, or I can put this much food on the table. I can save this much money for an emergency that might happen in the winter. Things like that. All reports right now indicate that even though this is being talked about now, this wouldn't even happen until possibly the 2021 tax year. So this wouldn't even happen until 2022. We're a year away. And so some lawmakers are saying and wondering, should we even be wasting our time talking about this now when this is something that does not need to happen and cannot happen for another year? So why are we even messing with it? So right now, as I've stated before, I just want to be real with you and explain what is being said. But as far as right now, the $3,600 for a child would do families a lot of good. It would really help. However, it wouldn't be immediate payments. And so right now, even though this is being discussed, it's one of those things that could be taken out of this $1.9 trillion stimulus package and passed on its own. Because right now, this is not something that would provide immediate relief. This is something that would actually take some time. So because of that, some are saying, let's just get rid of it. Let's move on to other business. So let's address the $1,400 stimulus checks, because what is being talked about there is very interesting. President Biden addressed how he even came up with the $1,400 stimulus check amount. He addressed this yesterday. He said, and I quote, "I picked it because I thought it was rational, reasonable, and it had overwhelming bipartisan support in the House when it passed." Now, It did have overwhelming support. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people in the Senate liked it as well. It would have passed in the Senate. The Cash Act would have passed in the Senate a few weeks ago if Mitch McConnell would have allowed this to actually happen. If he would have allowed it to go to the floor and see a vote, it would have passed. However, it didn't. It hasn't passed. And now people are looking at it like, okay, we're not going to get $2,000 as a new check. We're going to get a $1,400 third stimulus check, which is true. But there are still people fighting for the $2,000 as a full stimulus payment. There are still people also fighting for $2,000 per month. What many economists are saying is that the reason why the $1,400 stimulus check was so important, like a month ago, even 2 months ago, this would have been huge if we got a full $2,000. But right now, people are trying to get out of the hole that they dug themselves into. So a $1,400 stimulus check additionally to that $600 is going to help out a little bit, but it's not going to do as much as it could have done if it was provided and passed about a month to 2 months ago. So right now, here's what you need to know. We are getting a lot of pushback from multiple lawmakers. What we know is that President Biden wants to, he doesn't want to pick and choose the pieces of legislation that gets passed, but he does want to provide as much detail and give the lawmakers their chance, their option to either support or not support the bill that he's put in front of them. So here's what we know. Right now, he says that he is reluctant to cherry pick and take out one or two items here and there. But what we know is that the $1,400 stimulus checks are seen as one of the pillars to this stimulus package, this $1.9 trillion stimulus package. That's just one of the pillars. But this is also one of the things that economists are currently saying that if this doesn't pass, and doesn't pass quickly, then we will be in a world of hurt. American people, American families, working families, even those that are currently unemployed, are going to struggle to be able to pay stuff very soon. So, right now, President Biden is fighting. He is fighting tooth and nail with not only Republicans, but Democrats as well, trying to get something done. The difficult part right now for him is that he's still waiting on the Senate to confirm his cabinet. He's still waiting for the former President Trump's impeachment trial to begin. He said this is a necessity. It has to happen. But right now, what we know is that this is going to delay stimulus talks. This is going to hurt the American people by the Senate impeaching President Trump. Whether that gets passed or not, whether he gets convicted or not, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is this: the Senate is going to take weeks. The last one took, I think, 22 days to get through, and nothing happened. President Trump was not convicted. He didn't get impeached. So it was just dropped. So because of that, we could waste another 3 to 4 weeks on an impeachment trial and nothing gets done. And that's the big issue. Now, here's what we know. President Biden believes that the $1.9 trillion stimulus package is a must. But according to Representative John Yarmuth, who is a Democrat, by the way, he states that passing this bill and including a $15 federal minimum wage won't be allowed in the budget reconciliation. The rules do not allow this, is what he's currently saying. So, right now, getting the 60-vote majority is a must if Democrats want to see everything included in this package, including the $15 federal minimum wage. But also keep in mind, if the House is working on this bill this week and hoping to bring it to the floor by next week, then this bill could completely look different. It could be completely different. And I just want to say, in order to get bipartisan support on this bill, the $15 federal minimum wage will have to be pretty much cut out. State and local government funding at $350 billion will have to be dropped. It cannot be $350 billion because Republicans will not go for that. As far as the unemployment benefits of $400 per week for an additional 28 weeks, all the way till September 30th, and starting on March 14th, this is seen as too much, too expensive. And the $1,400 stimulus checks, that is agreed upon, but they have to be more targeted. So I do not expect this bill to be stripped of everything that President Biden wants, but it must look different if it has any chance of passing. So let's get into the news update for today. so that I can give you a little bit more information other than just stimulus talk. Currently, California's Governor Gavin Newsom has lifted the stay-at-home order and curfew. This is going to be very big for businesses so that they can now open back up and hopefully stay profitable. In addition, with PPP funding, many experts are saying that this is going to really help out the local economy. Moderna's CEO says we must be prepared for this fall. If Americans don't get their shots before this fall and have the herd immunity, then we could face another winter, another dreadful winter, just like the one we just had. Now, again, we are not out of the woods yet, but we are getting very close. And as far as COVID cases, the United States reported 154,917 new cases yesterday alone and 1,792 deaths. Experts say if we continue to mask up and social distance, then we could be under 100,000 cases average within the next few weeks. If this happens and we can get under 100,000 new cases per day, along with you're seeing better weather, then we could be back to our September numbers, which means we will be closer to the 30 to 40,000 new cases per day, and we will see deaths at under 1,000. We will be right around 500 to 600 deaths per day. So that is pretty much cutting it into a third as far as deaths, and also a third as far as new cases. That would be really good, and experts say that we could see businesses start to open up, states start to open up, and people start to move around like normal. So that is what we know right now. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.